Hey everybody, welcome back for another shooting edition of SHOREVIEWKEN. But this time we're leaving the spaceships and fighter jets at home and we're playing something a little more mystical. It's Elemental Master for the Mega Drive, which was developed by Technosoft, best known for their Thunder Force series, and it was released in 1990 in Japan and in 1993 in North America, where it was published by Renovation. This is one of those shooters that I played religiously when I first picked it up because I was blown away by its gameplay and presentation, which is pretty much always my reaction when trying out a Technosoft shooter that I hadn't played yet. This game features a very cool story set in a fantasy kingdom called Lorelei that's been taken over by an evil sorcerer backed by an unholy beast long since sealed away. So you take control of a brave young wizard as you set out to save the kingdom from the forces of darkness. It's a classic fantasy story that's told very well through some especially nice looking cutscenes. This is a vertically scrolling shooter that has you running along the ground as opposed to flying through the air, which is quite impressive. This guy has some pretty serious cardio, and you can fire both toward the top of the screen and to the bottom, as enemies will enter the screen from various directions. You start the game off with a basic magic attack and 4 different stages to choose from, and for each stage you complete, you gain another variety of magic, and you can swap between them at any time during gameplay. It's similar to Mega Man in a way, as different attacks are better suited to each of the game's boss characters, and when combined with your charge-up attack that you can perform as many times as you please, you can make pretty short work of the various boss monsters in the game, so the bosses are pretty weak. And overall, I'd say this is definitely one of the easier Mega Drive shooters I've ever played. It's not going to test your patience like Gyara's, for example, but it does still offer enough challenge to keep it from getting boring, and it is very fun, though I will admit that a lot of my love for this game definitely comes from the presentation. So I said the presentation greatly accentuates my enjoyment of this game, and that's absolutely true. In fact, in terms of its graphics and sound, this is one of my favorite games on the console because it knocks both of those categories out of the park. For starters, for a 1990 release, this is a beautiful game. I absolutely love the fantasy setting, the variety of monsters, the huge boss sprites, and the assortment of stages that all feature different aesthetics, lots of color and detail, and tons of activity on the screen at all times, but while also running buttery smooth. Plus, again, I love the art style and detail used in the cutscenes. They look fantastic. With that being said, though, the soundtrack, I think, is what outshines every other aspect of this game, if I'm being completely honest. It is one of my favorite soundtracks on the entire console. Every track sounds amazing, and most of them are super high energy with pseudo-gothic style, almost reminiscent of Castlevania in a few instances, and I really just can't speak highly enough of the music in this game. Go and listen to the OST on YouTube. You'll be glad you did. So taking all of that into consideration, the great graphics, amazing soundtrack, and very fun gameplay, this is a shooter on the Mega Drive and Genesis that shouldn't be missed. It's Elemental Master, and it takes awesomeness to new heights of mystical power.